Archangel Michael says, the winds of emotion are rising tonight, and someone older, someone who once believed in you, is fuming in silence. She has held back for days, but her heart is burning with betrayal, and her silence is no longer peaceful. Something you did, something small to you but huge to her, has triggered a storm she is now hiding behind her poised smile. She carries herself with grace, wisdom, and experience, and people admire her for how she handles pressure, but right now, her soul is not settled. The emotions that she tried to bury are rising, and it's you who unknowingly caused it. Her fury is not loud, but it is deep, and it's building behind the curtains of her quiet presence. There is a specific moment she keeps replaying, a word you said, or perhaps a move you made, that she perceived as disrespect. She believed you were better than that, and that's what hurt her the most. You weren't just anyone to her, she had high hopes and expectations wrapped around your name. Archangel Michael says, she feels you've crossed a boundary that cannot be ignored. Her disappointment has shifted into frustration, and her frustration is becoming resentment. You may have thought it was over, but for her, the wound is fresh and reopening with every reminder. Type Amen to get blessing 333. She is not trying to destroy you, she's simply trying to process the hurt you left unacknowledged. You may not even be fully aware of how your actions impacted her because she didn't voice it immediately. That's the thing about strong women, they bleed in silence until the silence screams. This better older woman once guided you, once stood in your defense when others doubted you. She praised your light in rooms where no one even knew your name. But now, she's questioning if you ever valued her the way she valued you. She hasn't spoken yet because she's watching. Observing if you realize it on your own. That silence she's offering is not peace. It's a test, and it's getting heavier with time. Type Amen to get blessing 757. People around her don't know what's going on. They think everything is normal. But you'll notice she's become distant, colder, sharper with her words and shorter with her patience around you. Something is brewing behind her eyes. You may have moved on, but she is frozen in that moment. You touched a sensitive part of her, one she doesn't allow others to reach, and she's now guarding that space like a fortress. She is speaking about you to no one, but she's thinking about you more than you know. Each time she passes by a place where you once shared moments or conversations, she's reminded of what was lost. Her fury is not just personal, it is sacred. Type Amen to get blessing 129. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Archangel Michael says, your energy triggered hers because she saw part of herself in you. That's why it hurt so much. She had poured so much tea. Trust into you, thinking you were a mirror of her younger self, but that mirror now feels cracked. There's a letter she wrote but hasn't sent. Words inked in frustration, but soaked in care. She's not out to embarrass you, she's hoping you realize the damage before it becomes permanent. Her fury is not wild, it is controlled, but control doesn't mean it's weak. This is a woman who has weathered storms, buried dreams, and stood alone when others had crowds. And now, because of what you did or didn't do, she feels unseen. Type Amen to get blessing 998. Your name was once said with pride in her mouth. Now it rests between her lips like a bitter taste she can't spit or swallow. Her heart is heavy, and the weight has your name written inside it. You were chosen in her circle, not because of favor, but because of belief. She believed you had integrity. She believed you understood respect. But something shifted. The way you handled her, your tone, your absence, or your disregard. It carved a deep scar. This better older woman isn't just mad. She's mourning. Mourning the relationship she thought would last, the respect she assumed was mutual, the connection she held as sacred. Type Amen to get blessing 556. She hasn't confronted you directly yet, not because she's afraid, but because she's waiting to see if your conscience wakes up. She wants to know if you're spiritually aligned enough to feel the energy shift, to recognize what has been broken without her spelling it out. This is not about age, this is about honor. This woman stood in battles you know nothing about. Her silence is sacred ground, and by misstepping, you have rattled her peace. Others may forget what you've done, but she's not others. She remembers everything, even the things you thought she'd overlook. She sees the truth in quiet moments, and she feels what is unsaid more deeply than most. Type Amen to get blessing 642. There was a gathering where your name came up, and she couldn't defend you this time. Not because she wanted to betray you, but because her spirit could not lie. The woman who once guarded your name like gold now guards her peace from your presence. She does not speak ill of you, but her silence speaks volumes. That's how you know her anger is real, it's controlled, respectful, and dangerously powerful. Archangel Michael says, "This is your window. You may not get many more." She is not closed off, but she is closing the door slowly, and once it shuts fully, it will never reopen the same. Type Amen to get blessing 444. She trusted you with something fragile, her guidance, her heart, her faith in your character. And whether it was an act of rebellion, pride, or distraction, you shattered it. There's still time to fix what was broken, but it requires more than words. She doesn't need an apology, she needs you to understand. To truly, deeply, soulfully understand. If you ignore this, the distance will widen, and what could have been a powerful alliance will dissolve into bitter memory. She doesn't want to fight you, she wants to feel at peace when she thinks of you again. Type Amen to get blessing 822. She's aware of how much you've grown, and yet this moment has her questioning if the growth was surface level. Did you grow for people or grow with purpose? That is the echo ringing through her soul. You may try to distract yourself, try to prove you've moved on, but the guilt will haunt you in strange ways. The sound of her voice, the strength of her words, the silence of her withdrawal, these will return in moments you least expect. You may even dream of her, dreams where she looks away, where she's crying, where she's distant. That's not just your mind. That's spiritual unrest whispering for repair. Type Amen to get blessing 121. This better older woman has the power to bless or block. You know it. You've felt it. There's an ancestral energy in her presence that stirs both fear and respect. There's a divine alignment between your future and her forgiveness. It's not about bowing down, it's about humbling yourself to truth. Archangel Michael says, if you can feel this in your spirit right now, then the message was meant for you. The universe is not random. You were guided here for a reason. Her energy is crying out. Type Amen to get blessing 233. Every moment you delay, a thread unravels. What once held tightly now loosens by the second. Your silence is hurting her more than your action. She may never say it, but she wanted you to fight for the bond. To notice the change in her tone. To sense that something was off. Instead, you turned your focus away. There is a day coming soon when her path and yours will cross again. That moment will reveal everything. It will be a spiritual test wrapped in a casual encounter. Type Amen to get blessing 777. You must prepare your spirit. Because when her eyes lock with yours again, she will not speak much, but the message will be loud. And you will know then what has been broken. The better older woman is not here to curse you. She is here to wake you up. She's furious, yes, but underneath it is disappointment, heartbreak, and deep spiritual exhaustion. You can still redeem this. But only if you act now, with sincerity. Not for appearances, but from your heart's truest place. Type Amen to get blessing 399. She once saw you as royalty, destined for greatness. Her fury is not to destroy, but to warn. A misstep here can close doors meant to open for you. This message is not just a story, it's a mirror. If your soul stirred while reading, then you already know this is real. Take it seriously. The time is short. Fix it. Heal it. Before it's too far gone. Type Amen to get blessing 1101. The spiritual connection between you and her was not ordinary, it was chosen. You were divinely placed into her life for a season of learning, growth, and protection. But somewhere along the path, pride rose like a fog and blurred your vision of who she truly was. Now, every time your name reaches her ears, her spirit tightens. She does not speak badly of you, but inside, a fire remains. It is not the kind of fire that burns to destroy, it burns to signal that something sacred was violated. This woman once spoke blessings over your life when others cursed it. She once stood between you and battles you never even knew were forming. Now, she's stepped back, and the absence of her energy is becoming noticeable. Type Amen to get blessing 611. People will wonder why certain opportunities are no longer flowing, why your favor feels paused, why things feel almost, but never complete. It's not coincidence, it's spiritual misalignment. Her disappointment has created a shift that needs restoration. She hasn't blocked you physically, but spiritually, she's closed the gates. And those gates were your covering. You walked under her mantle, and now, it's been lifted. There's a grace she carried that extended to you just by being near. Her guidance wasn't just advice. It was protection. And when you mishandled her, even unintentionally, that spiritual shield was withdrawn. Type Amen to get blessing 382. You may have laughed something off, thinking she'd never notice. But she noticed. You may have thought she'd get over it. But she didn't. Because the betrayal, no matter how light it seemed to you, landed heavy on her soul. She's replaying a moment. over and over again. Not because she wants to be mad, but because she can't believe you were the one to cause it. There is someone whispering to her now, reinforcing her reasons for stepping away. People who once admired your connection are now feeding the flames of separation. And the distance keeps growing. Type Amen to get blessing 844. Archangel Michael says, you need to act before that distance becomes irreversible. This is not just about her, it's about your alignment. Your destiny is entangled with hers more than you realized. She was a divine checkpoint. A spiritual marker on your journey. And without her blessing, your steps feel scattered. This woman holds ancestral memory, divine knowledge passed through generations. When she speaks, her words reach places beyond the physical realm. Her silence, now, is heavier than her voice ever was. Type Amen to get blessing 929. You will begin to notice her presence in your thoughts more often. She may appear in your dreams, in flashes of memory, in echoes of conversations you tried to forget. That's not nostalgia, it's divine urging. She wanted you to succeed. She wanted to see you rise. She was ready to support every step until you gave her a reason to step back. Your soul knows this. It's why your energy feels slightly out of balance. It's why things that used to come easily now feel difficult. Her disconnection is a spiritual absence, not just emotional. Type Amen to get blessing 313. A certain location still reminds her of you. A scent, a sound, a phrase, it all returns her to the moment the bond cracked. And in her heart, she battles between grace and grief. She has not completely given up. But the longer the silence lingers, the colder her heart becomes toward what was once warm. You have a sliver of time, a divine moment, to change the outcome. She's testing your awareness. She wants to see if you can pick up on the energy shift, if you can sense the spiritual consequences of your actions. If you are truly in tune, you'll know exactly what you must do. Type Amen to get blessing 577. Your healing doesn't require perfection. It requires humility. This is a spiritual repair, not a performance. You don't need the right words, you need a right heart. She will not respond immediately. She will watch. She will discern. Her spirit will weigh your gesture, and if it's pure, she will respond in a way that signals peace. But if it's prideful, shallow, or too late, she will remain silent. And you'll know that moment was your final warning. Type Amen to get blessing 474. Archangel Michael says, this isn't just about apology, it's about alignment. This woman was placed in your path as a guardian, a seer, a mentor. You cannot afford to lose her completely. If you feel resistance in your heart toward this message, it's your ego fighting your spirit. That resistance is the very thing you need to break to reach restoration. There's still a future with her that is full of healing, wisdom, and divine favor. But only if you act now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Type Amen to get blessing 911. In coming days, you may hear news about her, or see her name unexpectedly. That will not be coincidence, it will be confirmation. Heaven is aligning signs to awaken your spirit to this urgency. Your path forward requires clearing what is spiritually broken. And this is one of those breakages you cannot ignore. Her spirit is heavy, and the burden has your name on it. You don't have to grovel. You don't have to beg. But you must move with clarity, with respect, and with acknowledgement of what truly went wrong. Type Amen to get blessing 1230. She will feel your sincerity without words. When your energy shifts, her soul will sense it. You once had her favor, now you need her forgiveness. Let this message stir your soul. Let it humble your heart. You have the key. Whether you use it or not is your choice. But do not delay, because time and spirit do not wait for ego to catch up. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Archangel Michael says, she is not ordinary, she is spiritually elevated. When someone like her is angry, the world around you subtly shifts. Doors close without slamming. Opportunities dry without warning. People begin to pull back without knowing why. She doesn't wish harm on you, but the energy she once used to uplift you has now turned into silence. And silence from someone chosen carries more weight than 1,000 insults from enemies. It's not loud, but it is powerful. And it is affecting you. She's being quiet to protect her peace. She's chosen to step back, not to punish, punish, but to preserve her spirit from further disappointment. And the longer you wait to acknowledge what's happened, the deeper the wedge becomes between you and your blessings. Type Amen to get blessing 681. She may have looked at you like a child of her own, a student, a divine project that she was proud of. But when you turned away or acted in a way that dishonored her essence, that pride turned into pain. And now, she's no longer watching over you, she's watching out for herself. You'll notice the difference when things don't flow the way they used to. The ease is gone. The protection feels thinner. The favor you once walked in is dimmed. Not because she cursed you, but because her spiritual light no longer covers you. She was a pillar for you, silently strong, fiercely loyal, and deeply intuitive. And when you broke the silent contract of trust and respect, something ancient in her spirit fractured. She's no longer trying to fix you, she's trying to recover herself. Type Amen to get blessing 1700. You might hear others say she seems more distant these days. But that distance is sacred space. That space is the boundary she placed between you and her energy, because something you did shook her trust to the core. She didn't want to feel this way. She tried to rise above it. She tried to forgive silently. But the wound you left didn't scab, it stayed open. Not because it's big, but because it came from you. This is not about drama. This is about spiritual law. You touched a divine woman's spirit the wrong way, and now the imbalance is echoing back into your reality. Type Amen to get blessing 505. She once dreamed big for you. She defended your potential in places you were not even present. But when you chose ego over empathy, or pride over peace, she saw a version of you she never wanted to see. And she's been grieving ever since. Her disappointment isn't theatrical, it's ancestral. She is the kind of woman who carries old wisdom. When her heart shifts away from someone, it's not temporary, it's transformative. And your path will never be the same until that energy is restored. She will not beg you to fix it. She will not throw tantrums. She will simply vanish from your energetic support system, and let the universe show you what her absence truly means. Type Amen to get blessing 1444. In the days ahead, you'll face mirrors, people, conversations, or moments that feel strangely familiar. Those mirrors are there to show you what she once reflected back at you: grace, patience, and truth. But now, they will show you what's missing. You'll feel it when you walk into a space and don't feel protected like before. You'll feel it when you speak and the right words don't come as easily. You'll feel it when a blessing pauses right before reaching you, and lingers just out of reach. Because her spirit, once connected to yours, is no longer sending light in your direction. And that shift is not punishment, it is a lesson. Type Amen to get blessing 1777. There's a small window left for restoration. Not through gifts. Not through flattery. But through stillness. Through sincere, wordless understanding. Through an action or a gesture that comes from the soul, not from the ego. Archangel Michael says, a moment will come soon. A moment where she's nearby again, not physically perhaps, but energetically. And if your soul is humble enough, and your heart is open enough, you'll sense it. That will be your time. If you miss that divine opening, the opportunity to rebuild may never return in the same form. She is already preparing to close this chapter entirely if no shift comes from your side. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Don't let pride rob you of a sacred bond. Don't let stubbornness write the ending to a relationship that was ordained, not just random. She was placed in your journey for a higher reason. And you still don't fully understand her importance. You will, though. You'll understand it when another storm comes and the shield she once held is no longer there. You'll remember how safe you felt in her presence, how clear your path used to be, how certain you were of your steps. That clarity came from her spiritual covering. That light came from her prayers, her intuition, her belief in you. And now, that glow is dimmed, and your world feels colder. Type Amen to get blessing 303. She has not abandoned you, but she is no longer intervening for you. She is letting the universe teach you what her presence once protected you from. That is her way now, not punishment, but divine detachment. You can still feel her energy sometimes, at night, when things feel unsettled. You feel the absence like a weight on your chest. That's not anxiety. That's disconnection. You may notice others pulling away, projects stalling, favor hesitating. It's not coincidence, it's the ripple effect of one powerful woman stepping out of your energy field. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. Now is not the time to resist this truth. Now is the time to reflect. To recognize. To realign. Not because you're being forced, but because your soul is calling for correction. She may not cry in front of others, but in her quiet space, she did. And those tears weren't just pain, they were prayers. Prayers for you to awaken before the damage became eternal. This message found you because your soul still has a chance. You can still restore what was broken. But you must move in honesty, in softness, in true reverence of what she meant to your journey. Type Amen.